Well, welcome back to Buzzworthy. I'm your host, Shalaisi Harris, and in the studio, we have Youssef Assad, who is the founder of Passu.
Wow, it's a pleasure to be here.
I am very, very excited to talk about you because, you know, in us being a part of the process of this podcast, we get to chat a little bit before you actually make it onto the show. And you told me you were an author. And you also told me about like these adventures you went on for 2 years. And the timing was sort of perfect because I was just talking to another guest. I had just come out of a recording. And one of the things we were talking about is saying yes to everything for a season.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once you found what you really need to say yes to in that season is when you sort of come out and zoom in on what you need to do.
Okay.
Do you think that's what happened to you before you became an entrepreneur?
Yes, and it's quite ironic that some of the things you just said
Yeah.
exactly was my philosophy when I was trying to refine myself.
Okay.
So what happened is about 10 years ago, I wanted to explore the world, and I wanted to explore it from a different point of view, not as a traveler who visits cities, countries, and take photos. Mostly what we do, like we want to take 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
I wanted to explore countries in a different way, and I found out one of the ways to do that was volunteering. And I decided to volunteer in many countries, in many different causes, to explore what's going on in the world. So you could imagine that I was 22 years old. I never left Egypt. And I had this great curiosity, what's going on out there, okay? What are the problems in the world, okay? And that was my mission. I said, I'm not going back home until I find out what I wanted to do, okay? Initially, I told my parents I'm coming back after 3 months. But that ended 2 years.
Wow.
Okay. And when I landed in Hong Kong was my first destination. I came up with a philosophy or a rule, let's put it a rule. Anything that I have done before, I will not do it. Any opportunities that new, I will say yes immediately. Okay. You could consider it like yes man, Jim Carrey. Okay. So for instance, I have never stayed in hostels before. I used to stay only in hostels. Okay. So no more hotels. I'm gonna stay in hostels. Okay.
It's a big move.
Yes. So it's a big move.
Yeah.
And what even bigger than this, I couldn't find hostels available, so I tried it couch surfing, and I had a lot of horrific stories and amazing stories as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I was trying to push my limits. I want to explore life differently, and that made me explore many things. Some of them, like if I share it right now in depth, it's like that it was so stupid. Why would you do that? Okay, but my motivation was I wanna see things differently. So in order to do that, I cannot continue doing what I used to do when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
So what I used to do is like I have a business trip, I stay in a hotel, I meet nice people, conferences, go back home, and that's it. But I decided to do something completely different. And over a span of 2 years, I was able to volunteer in many countries. I volunteered in China, I volunteered in Sri Lanka, and I had my own volunteering project as well without organization. So I volunteered with organization and without organization. The one organization is called Isaac for international students. So I was able to volunteer there. And the causes or the project that I worked on was completely different. One is related to education. Another was about climate change. In Sri Lanka, we partnered with United Nations Development Program for wiring electricity. So I wanted to see many things. I wanted to see poverty, health issues, education, just to get a bite of all the issues and figure out like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And the most fundamental issue that really resonated with me was education.
Okay.
Why? Because I found out that that is the key in order to get out of poverty. That is the key to come to developed countries. That was in order to become a migrant here in Canada and arrive here in Canada. You must have a good education, and you must speak languages, French or English, and prove that you were able to do that in order to come to Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, so and I found out that education is the key, and most of the people stuck and they cannot improve their lives because of lack of education. Like I give you a small example. I was in Sri Lanka. When I was volunteering there, I was shocked that the schools do not even exist. There's no school.
No structure, no actual building.
Actually, the class is just chairs under a tree.
Okay.
And the whiteboard was donated by South Korea.
Okay.
And I was like, I was shocked, like how we are, that was 2017. Like I couldn't believe that schools like this still exist. Okay. And obviously everyone was looking at opportunity to learn. And it's challenging to find that opportunity. Also for me, I come from Egypt and I didn't have a luxurious or prestigious education back home.
Yeah.
It was a struggle to able to work and able to fund myself in order to learn. For instance, I had to take a lot of English courses while I was student, and because it was not affordable by the university itself to have English classes that mimics the fluency of what I needed here in Canada, for instance.
Yeah.
So it's just focus on writing and reading, but what about speaking?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. I found that there are two different problems here. One is related to languages itself. Okay. And when I was in China, it was really challenging to find anybody who speaks English at all. Like I was using Google Translation. Oh my God. And I had so many hilarious situation. Like one situation, I was a friend and we were in a restaurant and we were ordering a food. And I wrote on Google Translation, I want the least spicy food in the menu. Okay. But somehow he understood it the opposite.
Wow.
Okay. So he brought the dish. It was very hot. And I was like, maybe it's tomato. And we kept eating and until our noses and ears was all of like red.
Yeah.
So I had many situations in China. I couldn't communicate. And because of the basics, like I want to go to this place, please, no spicy, just bring me water, for instance. That is difficult.
Wow. I can imagine because I unfortunately only speak one language.
Okay.
But in my mind, I really want to learn another language.
Right.
I'm slightly jealous of people that are bilingual, or some people, I have friends that can speak up to like 8 different languages or understand like 8 different languages. And it blows my mind. And I think there's something about being able to switch between 2 languages that really activates like your brain on a different level than somebody else that doesn't speak it. And so I just have I'm just so in awe of people that can speak multiple languages, but it often comes as like a necessity. And I guess from like a privileged perspective, I grew up I was born speaking English basically, and I've never been challenged so much that I couldn't communicate in other places. And I've gone to countries where English isn't necessarily the most prominent language. And that's where I have found some frustration, but it has not, I don't think it's been so bad to the point where just asking for water was difficult, because I think every country in the world is trying to teach English in some capacity, right? So there is always somebody, but not everywhere in the world, someone is trying to teach you Mandarin or Cantonese.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I understood. You will be surprised how developing countries still lacking speaking languages fluently like English itself.
Yeah.
Like I was in Sri Lanka, India, even many parts in China. Okay. I remember one time I was in Hong Kong and it was an exhibition for companies in China. And the representative could not describe the product they are selling to me in English. And I was like, That is insane. Okay, but it shows you like how much opportunities are missed because of the language barrier. Okay,
Yeah.
and that is has proven quite well after the COVID when everybody wanted to consider immigration,
Yeah.
and they found that language is the biggest barrier. And that was for me. How did I came up to Canada? After 2 years of traveling, I met somebody in India. Okay, it was in a hostel. Okay, and
A great place to meet friends.
yeah, remember?
It's a bonding experience. I mean, I've never stayed in a hostel. It looks like a really fun thing to do in like your 20s and your teens,
Yes.
which I've always been on the cautious side of a traveler, so I haven't stayed in hostels.
Okay.
But I can understand the bonding that happens
Okay.
in those environments.
Let's put it this way. When I started traveling, I wanted to try everything differently. So I said, like, I'm done with hotels, Airbnbs. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try something different. And for hostels, for me, was kind of like dormitories of universities.
University,
Yes,
yeah.
you stay in one room with 12 other people. Okay, and anything could go wrong.
Anything.
Like
Yes.
one time we were in Hong Kong, I remember, and we were sitting on a terrace, and suddenly somebody threw a toilet from the window. Okay, nobody got hurt, but the police came and they had investigation. So these are some of the situation. Like, what's going on here? Okay,
Raining toilets.
yes, and you never know who's you're gonna meet. I met people who had a reservation 5-star hotels, but they left it. They came to socialize in the hostels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So in India, I was staying in a hostel in New Delhi, and that was almost after 20 months of my travels. Okay. So at the end, and I was talking with a gentleman. He said, "What are you doing?" So like, I've been traveling for 2 years now, and I need to settle down eventually. And I'm looking for a country that can give me the freedom to travel and experience freedom in many levels because I'm coming from all the developing countries are struggling with all sorts of freedom. And he said, you know what? Canada is your destination. And I said, why Canada? Because I have never thought about Canada. He said, from what you have been experiencing and you have lived in Europe for a while and you have this entrepreneurship spirit in you, Canada seems a very nice place for you. So I considered it, and I said, okay, why not? Let's try. Okay. So I asked my friends, like, what do I need to do in order to be qualified as an immigrant? And he told me, oh, it's a piece of cake. You just have to pass an English exam, demonstrate that you can speak the language, and have a college degree or university degree and 3 years of work experience, and that's it.
Oh.
I was like, okay, that sounds so cool. Sounds so easy. So let's start. So in 2017, by the end of 2017, I returned back home. And I returned because I knew what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I knew that I want to be an entrepreneur. And I know that I want to work on problems that matters in the world. And for me, education was the industry or domain that really resonated with me much. So I said, okay, let's move forward with the process in order to go to Canada, and from there I will start my entrepreneurship experience, our adventure in that case. So what happened is, when I came back to Egypt, I was supposed to finish my college degree. I got expelled from college.
Why?
Because I did not study for 2 years. And so,
Sounds like an entrepreneur.
yes. So it was a shock for me because I didn't want to graduate and I wanted to explore the world first before graduation. Because in Egypt, once you graduate, you immediately join the military in Egypt.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to join the military until I somehow have a clue what I'm gonna do with my life.
Okay.
So that's why I was born, and I also part of the reason why I was in Asia because I had another startup in China. Okay. So I said, okay, now what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to go back to Egypt, get my degree, pass the language exam, and things would be
Move to
smooth.
Canada.
In
Yeah.
Canada, baby. But it was a bloody situation that it took me 2 years just to get my college degree. Okay, what was supposed to be just 3 months, one semester.
Yeah.
I had to go a lot of things in Egypt in order to prove that I have the right to continue my education.
Yeah.
Okay, and after 2 years, I was like, okay, finally, I'm now capable of traveling. Okay, let's prepare the documents, prepare the whatever is needed for the language exam. COVID came. I was like, interesting. So after 2 years in the country, now I'm supposed to pass the
Get ready to go. Yeah.
Now COVID came, and I had booked the exam. Okay, but because of the COVID, they postponed the exam for 10 months.
Wow.
Okay,
That's a long time.
during this time, I was studying, preparing. I said, okay, no problem. Let's give it the best shots. Okay, I was studying day and night, trying to pass the English exam IELTS. And after 10 months of studying, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready for it. I passed all the skills, reading, listening, and speaking, except writing.
Okay.
And I was supposed to get 7. I only get 6.5.
So
It
close.
was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I told my friends, they're like, oh yeah, it's easy. Just do a recorrection and you will get it. They have extra point. I did a correction, nothing. Okay, and my friends now, okay, take it easy, Joseph. No problem. You paid $300. Okay, not a problem. Just book the exam again, and definitely you will get the score. So, okay. So I studied more writing, and after 2 months, I booked the exam again, and the same result, 6.5. I was like, what? Why? So I started to consider maybe there's something wrong. So I decided to take a course at the institution that creates the exam, a preparation course. And after that, I tried it again, and also 6.5. I was like, okay, now it's been almost a year and a half. There is a big issue here. So I asked the same institution to have a writing course because I'm keeping resetting the exam because of writing. And they said, yeah, sorry, we don't have any writing courses. You have to find an instructor outside. Like we don't know, we cannot recommend even, but we don't have a writing course for you.
Okay.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense. The institution that creates the exam,
You have speaking, you have reading,
you have all
but
the skills.
no writing.
Yes.
That's so interesting.
And the problem is when you get 6.5, you don't get a feedback why it was 6.5. So is it writing? I mean, like, is it grammar? Is it punctuation? What exactly is the issue?
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Interesting.
Okay. Then I had to find an instructor and work with him to able to get the validation from him that I'm ready for the exam. And I found out, oh wow, there are so many things that I didn't know.
Like what?
Like the margin of error is 2%, and that was not officially written, which means you have to write about 250 words an essay, and a letter is about 170, so approximately about 400 out of 500 words. And if you have more than 2% spelling mistakes,
You failed.
you're not gonna get the score. And that will, even in the model answers that are provided in the official books, no, that's not written. Okay.
I mean, they can't necessarily tell you everything, right?
That's one of the things.
Yeah, that's just one
One
of
of the
them.
things. And I was astonished. Like, okay, I already have taken a course with them, and the course that I've taken with them was 4 skills, but they have never told me this. Okay. And when I told them, like, can you tell me if I'm gonna pass the exam? Said, we are not allowed to tell you if you score or if you can get the score. Okay, because there are so many things can happen in the exam, anxiety, and maybe you underperform for certain reasons. So I was like, okay, now we are dealing with 2 different issues here. We're dealing with the exam criteria of passing, and we're dealing with what is happening at the exam itself.
Yeah.
Okay, because I couldn't sleep at all after the Third attempt, I couldn't sleep. No matter what I do, I could not sleep. Like I tried so many things. Eat a lot of food. Um, Sometimes I had like 3, 4 showers, and I tried to sleep, and my exam would be like 9 in the morning. I couldn't sleep even 15 minutes. Why? Because all of this anxiety. I know that half a point I'm in Canada, half a point I'm in Egypt. So
So make or break.
it's yes
And you've failed it 3
times.
times.
And okay, so after the first time I started to prepare with a professional instructor, 1-to-1, just on writing, nothing else. Okay, and I took it very seriously. I remember I wrote about 500 essays. I was obsessed with writing. Like I'm not gonna get 7, I'm gonna get 7.5. So the first time I was able to get the score in writing, but I failed at other skill because of anxiety. And in the exam, even if you pass, or let's say 3 skills, and you have to do it again, all the marking are not considered in for the immigration. You have to get all the 4 skills from the first time: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So the first time was like the first time I get the score in writing, but my score went down in listening from 9 to 6.5, which means like 13 mistakes because of lack of focus.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. The instructor told me, okay, now you know what, Joseph? There's nothing I can do. Okay, you already know that you can pass the exam. Now you have a different issue. You have an anxiety. So I suggest you talk with a psychiatrist. I was like, interesting. Okay. How this is so difficult. When I started to explore around the communities online, like students like me, I found some people did not pass from the 10th time, 15 times. I found people who have been trying to do this for 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And I found all of them are writing specifically. And I found, wow, this is a massive challenge, not just for me, for many students out there. And so the last time I tried it to do something different. I tried it to practice at home under stress. So what I would do after a long day, maybe 14 hours working or studying, I would say, okay, I'm gonna now sit and do 4 hours exam. Why? Because I wanted to know during under pressure, under anxiety, how I'm so
How can you function?
yes.
Yeah.
And I started to break down all the mistakes that I do when I'm not able to focus 100%. And I keep doing that every day. So now it's not about passing a language exam. It's about passing the exam under stress. Okay? And the idea came from a book. It's called The Power of Habit. There was a story about somebody in China who was preparing for the Olympics, swimming.
Yeah.
And his coach told him that you have to be under stress. And that through was training him to swim blindly. Why? You have a goggles.
So he was blindfolded.
No, so you have a goggles.
Okay.
He told him what would be the worst case scenario. Water goes into the goggles, right?
Okay.
So you have to swim blindly.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you gonna do that? You have to count how many times you have to swim until you get to the edge of the swimming pool and come back. So you have to do that. What happens during the final contest? That actually happened. And he was swimming blindly, and after certain time, he just started to stop. Okay, now, and everybody was clapping, and he had no idea why everybody was clapping,
won.
and he won.
Yeah. Wow.
So I said, okay, maybe this is the key. Now I have to train myself under stress, and I started to do a lot of things, like not traditional at all. Like I would solve the listening exam blindly. Why? Because when I was reading a question and listening, I cannot focus if I'm already tired. So what I would do is just try to listen. Then when the time I have to answer, I open my eyes and concentrate.
Yeah.
So I have to
You
come up.
find those strategies.
Yes, I have to come up with strategies.
Yeah.
How to do it under stress. And I booked I sit for the exam the 5th time. Okay. And also I couldn't sleep at all. I tried it everything. Everybody told me like you have to take sleeping pills. I was like, no, I'm not gonna try
No.
to.
Then you won't wake up for the exam.
Yes. So I did not take
Yeah.
sleeping pills, and I couldn't sleep as well. And I had 3 espresso coffee from Starbucks just to be able to concentrate.
Wow.
And I did every strategy, as you mentioned, I came up with to able to solve the exam without sleeping at all. And guess what?
You passed.
I passed, and not just passed, I got the maximum score in every skill.
Wow.
Okay.
I think that you were so methodical about everything you did. And what you did, I think a lot of people sometimes go overboard on this, is you can be critical of yourself to improve, but you're not so critical of yourself where it causes you to freeze and it causes this additional anxiety because you already were struggling with the levels of stress associated with
Yes.
just taking the exam.
Yes.
And you recognize that stress and you're just like, if this stress is inevitable gonna happen to me when writing the exam, then I might as well prepare for it under those same conditions,
correct,
right?
correct.
Recreate the condition. And I think that in itself is quite entrepreneurial. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs naturally have that way of looking at situations they're in and looking at problems because you look at it, you try to solve it. Okay, you failed. You do it again a slightly different way and you
Yes.
do it again. And that's all really building a business is all about is seeing the problem and iterating on top of that problem until you get to a solution that works for you, which you ultimately did.
Yes, that is correct. I have to mention that it was very, very frustrating of every time.
Yeah.
And when I get the results and I know that I didn't pass, and there was no explanation why I didn't pass. It was very frustrating, and like most of my friends are like, you know what, you should give up. Youssef, Joseph, you've been trying for this 2 years, 3 years. Maybe it's not meant for you.
Yeah.
Maybe go to Germany, try a different country. Okay. I was like, but if I stop now, it's unfinished story. Okay, I have to finish it. Okay, and that would kept me going. I feel like there would be a sense of surrender if I give up now. I cannot surrender.
Yeah.
I don't know any situation in the past that I ever surrendered.
Is it surrender or giving up?
What would be the difference?
I think surrendering is when you step away from something,
Okay.
and if it is for you, it will come back your way that you have to solve it and you have to go through that barrier of it. But if you give up, it is closing the door to say, I am not going to walk back in this door again, where surrender leaves the door open for the wind to either blow it open further or blow it shut. It has a little bit of hope in it.
Okay, it's the first time to hear it.
No, that's fair. I mean, I just made up that answer.
Okay, because what came to my mind when I say surrender is like raising the white flag. Okay, we surrender. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. Like we tried it and we failed, and that's it. Giving up, for me, it was just a synonym to it.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand that.
But I'm thinking even a lot about all the students that I have met, because I had a lot of study partners who gave up, who did not continue after the third time. So like,
Yeah.
you know what? This is a waste of time. This is a waste of money.
Yeah.
I'm not trying. And for me, I would say what kept me motivating, another reason, that I burned all the ships. What I mean by that,
Yeah. What do you mean by burning all the ships?
when I came from Asia, I made a promise that I will not start a business. I will not study. Okay, I will not do anything unless I immigrate first.
Okay.
Okay, and what happens is, like, I feel like if I'm not gonna get this score, it means like my 2 years of my life is wasted. I had a family member. She came to me and she told me, you know what? When I met you, I was single. Now I'm single and I got engaged, and I got married and I have a baby, and you're still studying in your room.
And that's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It was a lot of pressure that I remember during the exams, I was bleeding. Okay, how intense was the anxiety is. Luckily, I was able to pass. Okay, and every all my friends celebrated to me. They said like,
Yes.
yes, now you can achieve your dream finally. And I felt like, oh my god, it's like going to Everest.
Mm-hmm.
And for someone who's been in Everest with Cam, I did not mention this, but the 2 years journey in Asia, it ended with Everest with Cam.
Wow.
Okay, so it felt for me like I had a different experience. Okay, and now I reached the end of it. Okay, I've already passed the exam. So what happened is this was during the COVID. Canada during that time, it locked the immigrants.
Yes.
So I was outside of Canada with the desired score that they want, okay? But because of the COVID, they were not issue invitation to immigrants outside of Canada. And what they did is that they started to invite international students inside Canada.
Yes.
So my score was 474
On the list.
on the list, and they were inviting people here 410,
Wow.
okay, which is unfair, okay?
I mean, it's their decision.
Yeah,
so you felt it was
I
unfair
was
for
felt,
you.
many people
Yeah.
felt it unfair, okay? Because I was outside for 2 years, okay? And the problem is that the certificate is only valid for 2 years.
Ah, gotcha,
So
gotcha.
it's not like I'm gonna wait, let's say 4 or 5 years when they gonna decide they're gonna invite immigrants again. I will be selected. No, there is a pressure that if you're not selected within 2 years, you have to go all of this again from scratch.
Oh man,
Oh.
if that happened to you, then I don't know. I would have said to you, maybe this isn't it.
Yes, I know. And after I was able to get the score, I waited a month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and after 9 months, nothing, and that means like I only have 1 year and 3 months left on the certificate to expire, and still the COVID was going in Canada. Also at that time, would only invite locals, nobody outside of Canada. And everybody told me back then, I was like, what I'm supposed to do? Okay, I'm now in waiting, and there is nothing I can do, and I want to make sure that I will be in Canada. So back then, I asked many immigration lawyers, and there were only two advice given to me. Either I become international student, and I have to pay 40, 50, 60,000 dollars to come to Canada, because that was the only thing that back 3 years ago, most of the immigrants were taking this pass to become international student. Then they applied for a PR here.
Wow.
Okay, that was the first choice. The second choice was to learn French from scratch. Okay, and pass the exam before the English certificate expires. So
And you had a year and 3 months.
and I had a year and 3 months. Okay, and by year and 3 months means I had to learn the language, and I had to apply for the exam. I have to pass the exam, and I have to submit for the PR, and the application of the express entry for PR has to be submitted before the expiration of the certificate. So it's not really just 1 year and 3 months, like 1 year.
It's much less
It's
than
less-
that.
yeah, because it's 3 months for the application to be processed. I was like, okay. Oh man.
And now we're finally getting close to like where your company really started.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Take
yes,
us into it.
yes. So after quite time of reflection, okay, I decided to learn French. Okay. And I was like, okay, now every method that I have came up with IELTS, the English exam, now it's gonna help me in the French journey. But the difference is I was learning French from scratch. Like the only word that I know is bonjour and merci. That's it. So learning a language quickly was extremely challenging for me, but I was devoted to it. I was studying every day between 12 to 16 hours a day. Okay, French, 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 and I had only two exam attempts, not five, just two. But I found out from the two experiences that all language exams are similar. the same mistakes, the same challenges. Also, you sit for the exam and you didn't get the score, and you didn't get also any feedback why you didn't get the desired score. So I was able to get the score that is needed within 9 months, not 1 year. Okay.
Wow.
And after I passed the French exam, my immigration score went from 474 to 540. And within exactly 2 months, I had 4 invitations from Quebec, okay, from Ontario. And I took the express entry program, and my PR was processed in 45 days. Yes.
Wow. It's incredible to me what we can do when we just decide to commit to something and go for it, because you decided, what you said is, I'm not starting a business, I'm not going to school, I'm not moving my life forward until this one thing happens for me.
Yes.
And you were so committed to that, and that took quite a few years. How long was that?
3 years and a half.
3.5 years. And when did your friend tell you Canada was the right place for you?
That was in 2017, and I landed here in Canada in 2023.
And that would have been how many years?
Oh, but it 6 years. 6 years from the idea to actualizing it.
Actually getting here.
Yes.
Yeah. With plethora of failures in the middle.
Yes.
And I mean, I know a little bit of the end of your story, but what I can't help but say right now is no experience is ever wasted in any way. And I think everybody should look at their lives in that way. Like every experience, if you decide to learn from it, especially like your failures and things like that, that every little thing along the way is preparing you for the one thing that you are just going to love doing and you truly want to do at some point in time.
I totally agree with you, but there is a little bit challenge here. During the experience itself.
It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. And it doesn't feel like it's a learning experience, as it feels like it's unfair. Okay. Why this is happening to me?
Yeah.
Okay. And you start to question and doubt your skills. Okay. And you start to question many things, that circumstances, are they the right circumstances for me? So I did not know that I'm going to start a company in Canada.
Yeah.
About exam prep and language learning when I was preparing for these exams. No way.
No.
Okay.
No.
No. Okay. After I finished my journey, I was like, okay, I completed my journey. I found out, okay, that's not just my struggle. That's millions of immigrants and students as me as well. Okay. And it's a big problem. So it has to be solved. And whenever I get a lot of similar questions about my experience during that preparation time, was it a waste or not? And I tell you that my entire experience here in Canada as a new immigrant and newcomer, as an entrepreneur trying to fundraise, start a company, has nothing at all, like in terms of difficulty, to what I had back in Egypt.
Wow.
Okay.
To pass the exam specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say this is easier than the exams. Why? Wow. Here if one road got blocked, there's another road to think about it. Okay? But as I told you, there was only one path for me.
Yeah.
Either you win.
So your options opened up.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So that it's a different mentality. Back there was only one path, okay, to Canada.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you don't succeed, all your years you have been working on is going to be wasted. But here, if one path does not allow me to get the desired goal, I will look for something else. Okay. And I found that when I arrived here, okay, wow, you don't have a lot of money, and you're gonna start a business with a little bit of money. I said, okay. I was traveling in Asia for 2 years. I was living $3 a day. What could go wrong?
Wow.
So I would say, like, my learning experiences in passing language exam and whatever happened with me in Asia as well has prepared me to what is happening here in Canada.
Yeah.
So when it happened in Canada was two things. One was I'm here alone without a family. Okay, to starting a business is really challenging. Why?
Absolutely.
The first thing that you could always consider is you're surviving, which is rent, okay, food, groceries, and these things that I didn't care about back. I was studying all day or night. Now I have to work on paying rent, okay, and at the same time starting a company.
Yeah.
So it's quite challenging.
Absolutely.
And I've shared this with many of my friends who, even some of the team members, like a co-founder who worked with me, that I was living on $150 a month. It's like, how are you going to do that?
Wow.
I was like, okay, I'm just, there's nothing I could do except I put all my money into the company, bootstrapping. So I really had a little to live with. But I was happy. I was okay. I was content
Yeah.
with whatever I had. Because I wasn't looking for, oh yeah, the materialistic stuff I need to buy. But there was always a sense of freedom that I had been experiencing every day since arriving in Canada.
Yeah. So I like where you are right now in your story, because I think a lot of people I like that you said you were happy with where you were.
Yes.
And from the outside, obviously living on $150 a month in my mind is just like, how is that even possible in Canada?
Yeah, just for living expenses as well. So after rent, whatever is paid, I had only $150 allowance. That's it.
Okay.
And obviously that's nothing because
Yeah. Food.
standard here is like you get $2,400. Half of goes to rent and half to live with it.
Yeah.
So I was living with $150. And it was really challenging. I'm not saying it wasn't.
It's not, yeah.
It was, and I one of the things also I never shared this before, that I never had a full-time job when I landed here. I had a lot of casual jobs, okay, because how I'm supposed to build a business at the same time working full-time.
Yeah.
So I had to work casual job, and I had to work for almost a year and a half, not all days, not a single day off, not even Christmas. It's forbidden to take any days off. So I worked for a year and a half, and I got burned out.
Yeah.
It was really challenging, but that's the only way how you're gonna bootstrap your company.
Yeah. What was your mindset behind being happy in those moments?
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I really want to get to, because it's inevitable that every human being is going to have a hard time in their life.
Yes.
And whether you're struggling financially, mentally, socially, whatever it is.
Okay.
But I think your mindset, and it kind of goes to the conversation we were having before the cameras came on, was, around happiness. Like, how do you, what mindset did you have for yourself that brought you happiness, even though objectively life looked very bleak in that
Yes.
way?
Okay, I have to go a little bit back, okay, than what I have shared. When I was 22 years old,
Yeah.
and I had this intense desire to explore the world, and I did not know that there are hidden layers, okay, obstacles for most of the people who are coming from a developing countries. Okay. For instance, I wanted to study, and I went to Europe. I went to Poland to study, to continue my education. And despite the fact that I was an international student there and was paying all the tuition fees and everything, I was deported. Okay. And I was shocked. I was talking with my immigration lawyer back then. Like, everybody in my class from Iran, from India, from everywhere, they were able to continue and get their student permission. Why I didn't? They said, "Oh yeah, the reason is not written in the rejection letter you have, but it's because you are from an Arabic country." Okay, and that was 22 years old, and I was shocked. Like, okay, so I thought money can solve problems. If you have a bank statement and you have a lot of money, you can study anywhere. That was not true. I found the same thing in Asia. I had a business partner. He was from the United States, and we were applying for a business visa in China. And we went to the same immigration lawyer, and I paid it was like $1,000, and he paid $1,000. He got 10 years visa, business visa. I got 1 month, and his name is Steve. I said, Joseph, did you write something differently on your application? Like why I was able to get 10 years and you have only 1 month? I said, oh yeah, there's something that you don't know. I have a different citizenship than you. I have a different passport. Okay, so I was able to travel many countries, but I was rejected many countries. I think I was rejected 55 times.
Wow.
So I remember I was in India back then. I had a very important conference in Europe. I was invited, and I sent emails to all the embassies in Europe, all the countries in Schengen. I told them I've been traveling for 2 years, and I have a very important meeting in Europe. And if I go back to Egypt and apply, that I will miss definitely the conference, and I have to be there within 10 days. I believe I got 28 emails with rejection.
Wow.
You are a citizen of a developing country. You are not allowed to come to Europe unless you apply through your own embassies in our country.
Okay.
So you could imagine that being rejected over and over and over and over and over and over, that's what made me want to come to Canada. And that's why I said, like, I'm not going to start a company. I'm not going to do anything unless I immigrate. Because for me, I feel like I'm a prison, like in a prison, okay? And there's no way that I could break this prison, okay, unless I immigrate. And that would keep me moving. Okay, 5 times I didn't pass the exam, no problem. Even if it would take 30 times, I would do it.
Yeah.
So when I landed here in Canada, I immediately experienced this sense of freedom that I was looking for. I can be myself. I can say anything. I can write anything. Okay, I can travel anywhere I wish.
Yeah.
Yes, there are obviously certain limitations when it comes to financial freedom. It's not easy, but you could consider that someone who's been looking for freedom for almost 10 years finally found it here. And that was the person I met in India. I said, if you're looking for freedom, if you're looking to have the opportunity to start a new life, go to Canada.
Wow. That's you told a story in terms of answering the question,
Yes.
which was how do you stay happy in these times?
Yes.
And I think maybe the answer I'm extrapolating from
Okay.
your story is after so much rejection and finally finding freedom, which you've been looking for so long, that really is the anchor to your happiness. And as long as you have that, every other circumstance really is put into perspective, knowing that those things are temporary because I have what I care about the most, which is freedom.
Correct. I would say the sense of that I'm here in this country and I will not be deported. I feel safe. Okay. I know that I can say anything, I can publish anything, okay, and I feel safe.
Yeah.
I can start a business if I wish, okay, or I can study wherever I like.
Yeah.
Yes, it comes with a lot of responsibilities, and it's not easy to achieve everything.
Yeah.
But at least I could imagine having a future.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you think was stopping you in, like your home country, Egypt? Like, what made you feel, I guess, less safe there and less of a dreamer?
It wasn't about Egypt in particular. It was about coming from a developing country. Like the challenges that I've met, I have seen it with a lot when I was talking to other people from India. They share the same thing. Okay. So it's kind of like having a passport of a developed country is unlocking all the opportunities, and not having one is locking all the opportunities.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And obviously, there's no comparison when you compare the opportunities here over there. Like, I wouldn't imagine starting a company back home.
Okay.
Okay. It's really, really challenging in terms of finding investors, opportunities. I shared this a couple of days ago. I was a guest speaker in Niagara Falls University. And one student asked me, he said, are you happy, or do you have any regrets about coming to Canada? I said, no. I said, even my company here this idea wouldn't be successful if I'm in the United States. Okay.
That's true.
That's true.
That is true. Yeah.
So that goes back to your question. Every day I always start my day with writing at least three things that I feel sense of gratitude.
I love
And always start with like, okay, I'm healthy. That's good. So as long as I'm healthy, then I can achieve more. Okay.
Yeah.
And I am living in a country that I know that it's not the best, obviously, Canada is not the best country, okay? But it allows me to imagine and dream about the future.
And nothing's more freeing than that.
Yes.
Yeah. I can understand that from an intellectual perspective is, you know, it's interesting because I think I'll relate this to my corporate experience. When you're working within a corporate environment, it's this big machine and you're just a cog in that machine moving
Yes.
things along. And what I found was I continually had like a lot of big ideas, a lot of things, and I would try to push those ideas through. And one of our guests a couple episodes ago said, when you're in corporate trying to push something new through, it's like trying to steer the Titanic and move it, and it just can't move. And the second I was able to actually step out of corporate was when like I truly experienced freedom. And I thought I was such a big thinker at the time, but I didn't even realize like how much bigger I can actually think and imagine. So from that perspective, I can absolutely understand having to drop weight and feel so light and know that you can be anything. You can do whatever you want in your life.
One thing that I always share, like when people ask me, like, what is so unique about Canada, and I always tell them that the diversity here is amazing.
Yeah.
Like you could feel a sense of belonging to all the immigrants, either the first generation or the second generation.
Yeah.
They could relate to what you've been experiencing
Absolutely.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I love most about Canada. It's just I feel like there are so many people like me, and like you. Okay. And everybody had a similar experience, or at least their parents told them something
Stories, yeah,
how your
yeah.
grandparents came to this country and the struggle they were living in the beginning. And that's what I loved about Canada most. I could feel sense of belonging here.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you for that.
Even that we agree that every newcomer has his own challenges. It's
Absolutely.
never been a smooth journey.
Yeah.
At the beginning, the first 2 years is challenging. But I always share that look at people who have been here for many, many years and they're able to achieve amazing things. How the journey you start, it was challenging, and how they ended up right now, whatever circumstances. So back again, yes, even though it was extremely financially difficult for me,
Yeah.
okay, but what kept me moving forward day and day and day and day was, okay, I know this is a temporary stage. I know I'm not the only immigrant who landed here in Canada and almost had a little bit for food or groceries or anything, okay? I know that I have worked so hard to be here, okay? Just be able to go like any park and enjoy nature. I love nature. Like something that most of immigrants who come from Middle East, they really comment about is lacking of nature there.
Yes.
Mountains and trees and everything.
Because you're more desert.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's like in back in Egypt, it would take me about 45 minutes to go to the river Nile.
Yeah.
I was like, here, just go to the lake every 5 minutes if I wanted to go with my bicycle. So I would say that also, yes, there are a lot of pressures here in Canada, but there are also opportunities to let that pressure go.
Yeah.
And one of the, for me personally, is nature. If I'm mad, in whatever negative situation I have, it's just I want to walk in a high.
And it soothes you.
Yes.
Yes. Very, very soothing. So we have covered, so much of your journey, and you're such an interesting person, and you haven't even like scraped the plethora of stories that you have for us. But why I think it was so important to talk about your journey and how you sort of ended up here. And that's been most of this episode so far, because I want people to know that it doesn't matter where they are, and I've said it already in this episode, it doesn't matter where they are in their lives right now, that opportunity is leading you to the right thing for you.
Yes.
And I firmly believe that in a lot of ways. And I think your journey in discovery, I think everybody wants to skip the discovery component of their lives and jump right into the solution. But you never know if like that's where you're supposed to be if you never did the discovery.
Correct.
So take the time. The discovery is not a waste. You might start something that you think is it, but maybe it's not, and go rediscover again. Like
Correct.
discovery is where it needs to be. And that, is where you were able to actually write a book.
Oh, yes.
That's in Arabic. Unfortunately, I can't read it, but you will tell me stories over the years.
Okay.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about the book, and then we'll jump right into what your business actually does now, and some tips in learning a new language, and why I should start French right now.
Okay.
That's a lot, but let's start with the book.
All right. That's a lot of questions to
Yeah. So tell us about your book.
Right. So when I came back to Egypt and I started to share my experiences like I did here with you, a lot of people came back to me and said, you know what, you should write them. Okay, that your 2 years journey in Asia, you should start writing.
Yeah.
I was like, writing, really? I was like, I had a lot of diaries when I was traveling, about 7, recording everything, but I never intended to share it with the public. Even I plugged temporarily disabled all my social media accounts in 2 years. Nobody knew anything about me.
I love that.
Yes. So I was like, okay, now I'm supposed to share it with the world. How? So I started taking a workshop in creative writing, in short stories. And the graduation project of the workshop was for all the other authors to participate in one book. And I wrote few short stories in that book with other co-authors. And it was a long journey. It took us about 10 months to get this book published. But it put me on the first step of an author of writing short stories and what it's like to address some of the situation that I have experienced and share it with the world. Okay? Because not everybody is going to go to China, Asia, and experience the things that I have done. Even right now, for me, if you ask me right now to go back, I was like, no. Okay, so that was my first step in writing, and right now I'm still crafting the draft of the 2 years journey. So this is just a portion of the 2 years.
Wow.
So yeah, this is it's ongoing project.
I love that. I love that. And I think this really segues right into your business, because your business has everything to do with language. And this journey that you detailed some of your stories in really led us to your company today.
So my company is called Passu. When I landed here in Canada, I immediately considered about starting a business, how to help international students and immigrants. And we started with initially exam prep, just for the French exam and English exam IELTS. And then we expanded to language learning. That was not our main goal. Our main goal was exam prep. Now we are offering language learning from scratch and exam prep. What set us apart from my experience, I have tried it so many instructors during my journey. And I found that the best approach to learn a language or to pass an exam is not completely to be reliant on an instructor, okay? However, having tools to help you. Back in my time when I was trying to pass the language exams, there was no ChatGPT right now, okay? So I was programming all the tools that I needed to have. For instance, in the English exam, one of the tricky questions that you hear numbers and you have to write them quickly. And I always had a problem with certain numbers. So I created an app that creates like 1,000 numbers for me and I used to write. Now it's so easy to do that with ChatGPT. So what we decided to do is we build a hybrid model between AI and instructors. So now this is a unique experience of learning a language. You do have your traditional classes with an instructor every week, 2 or 3 classes, but the content that is being taught in the class is being taught by AI. So you finish your class, you immediately find the same curriculum, the same unit chapters. You can study it as flashcards, okay, study plan, and the AI will guide you. Oh, you have a problem this week with grammar. This is what you have to study. So this is what is lacking in terms of all the AI models out there. It will not lay out a 1 year journey for you.
Yeah.
Okay, and even if it does this, it will not be consistent with instructors. If instructors you going to choose, okay, we have to work from this book or at that book, or I have my own curriculum, but nothing consistent from all point of views, like from AI, from instructor, the same content is being taught.
Yeah.
And we started this in January, and now we have 2 cohorts, 20 students are learning French with us, and because I know how difficult is it to pass language exams, and we have put a lot of effort in the curriculum itself, we are offering a second chance score program, which means for any students who are already learning a language with us, for whatever reason, when they get to the exam stage and do not pass the exam from the first time, maybe an anxiety, whatever, they will take a preparation with us for free again.
I love that.
Because we believe 100% in their success. And that what sets us apart from all the competitors out there. Traditionally, or what is happening right now, you pay for exam prep, and if you don't pass, that's your own.
That's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on you. But we don't want. We will go further than this.
What I really like is that the hybrid model that you have between AI and an actual live instructor.
Yes.
I think like there's so much nuance in language that I don't think AI could ever really just teach you it.
Okay.
Right? And I mean, you tell me, this is just my thought. But the way people just communicate, the way something is actually said, and all of that creates a lot more context when you're learning from a human. So having someone really teach you in the beginning, but AI helps you reinforce, adapt, focus on like the weak points that you're not really picking up on. I think a blend of that is really where I see technology and human really coming together, because that human element is still super, super important in learning and how we learn, and even learning as a cohort, learning with your peers, is quite important, because then you sort of have built-in practice teammates, right? And you have you have people that go through this struggle together and bond. And I really, really love that you're not just going AI, learn in a silo, put yourself in this little box by yourself, because learning really doesn't happen like that. It happens in interactions with people.
I completely agree with you. Like the way we designed our program, we designed it as a cohorts because we understand how important to have a study partners with you.
Yeah.
When I was preparing, I had 14 study partners in 3 years. Okay.
Wow.
And because we used to study every day and we motivate each other. So that's what sets us apart from just being with a solo an instructor. Because you have a sense of community. Oh yeah, we have the same goal. We're gonna pass the exam together at the same time.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. AI is a tool to help you to leverage how you can study more effectively. Okay. So the way I think about it, in the past, you used to have a whiteboard. Okay. Now with AI is replacing the whiteboard with a new set of tools to increase to prepare more efficiently and shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, you need to have the instructor. Why?
Absolutely.
During the harsh time, the difficult time, the time that you lack motivation, you don't want to wake up, you don't want to do the homework. Okay. If you get a notification from ChatGPT, hey,
You're like, hide the phone.
Yes, you're not following your weekly plan to do your homework. Okay, just shut up.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
But when you have an actual instructor, somebody who really will follow up with you, you will be motivated to continue.
Absolutely.
And also another thing, when it comes to commitment, when anything is being provided as a low value, okay, most likely you're not continue. Like, all the online courses, most of the people, 99% of it do not continue to the end to get the certificate because it's for free.
Yeah.
So also the commitment is not just about the human element. When you invest
In yourself.
in yourself, you will continue.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Very excited. Maybe I'll be learning French very soon.
Okay.
If you did it in 9 months, I'm sure I can do it in a year.
Yes, you definitely can do it.
But we have to pick the year.
Yes.
It's not going to be 2026. Amazing. So as we wrap up the podcast, we have 3 questions we always ask our guests.
Okay.
What is the biggest lesson that you've learned so far in your entrepreneurial journey? Or just in life?
Believe it or not, when things really get so hard, okay, that kind of like no hope, that's when everything starts to change. Okay. I have seen that multiple times, like financial crisis, no investment, and it's really, really difficult. And to the point that I'm no longer doing it because I have a goal that I'm willing to achieve. It's more like, okay, I'm gonna build a habit. I'm gonna continue doing, and I trust the process that somehow eventually it will work.
Yeah.
Okay. And every time I before I achieve a major milestone, I always get this period where it's completely dark. Like before the 5th exams, for instance, fifth time, I was really depressed, like really, really, really depressed.
Yeah.
Okay. And I thought that maybe I'm not gonna do it on the 5th time, maybe 8th time, 9 times, but I did it.
Yeah.
So every time even in the business itself, like, oh, we are not doing very well, we still need more investment in software, and something happens, okay? Because we don't stop. We keep progressing. Sometimes I cannot run, I just can walk, and sometimes I cannot walk, I just crawl. But at least I'm moving.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
love
biggest lesson.
that.
You have to continue. And if you don't believe in the goal that is going to happen at a specific time, no problem.
Yeah.
Just trust the process. If you study every day, and not focus on the exam, eventually you will pass the exam.
Yeah. What that reminded me of is this saying that it's always darkest before dawn. Have you heard that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly beautifully said.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful one. I love that as a lesson that you've learned, because that's a really positive lesson for when you're in the trenches and when you are in the darkest times to know that this is temporary.
This is temporary.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. That was my whole statement for 2025.
Okay.
This is temporary. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great one. Yeah.
The problem is when you are inside the situation, it doesn't feel like that.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
So dark, okay?
Yeah.
But you have to trust yourself that somehow will all make sense eventually to you.
Yeah, for sure. So 2 more questions.
Okay.
What is one thing you're leaving behind in your journey so far?
I would say certainty.
Tell me more. I know we're running out of time, but tell me more.
When I started Passu, we were very certain about the market, the pain that we're trying to solve, our approach, okay? However, we found out there was so many assumptions, okay, that it wasn't clear to us that these were assumptions. Like for instance, when we launched the French exam, we had so many customers. We almost every month about 1,000 to 1,500 students without marketing.
Wow.
But the biggest challenge was payment. They were not willing to process payments through Visa or MasterCard or Stripe. So even so, we had an amazing traction. We that is every investor. When I would pitch it to them, was like, how did you get all of these students without any marketing? That's amazing, okay? But because of the payment, we had to find ways to make the company profitable. Otherwise, we were able to continue. But the problem, that's certainly that we're gonna work on exam prep for a year and a half, serving the African market, okay? Because everybody said there is a need.
Yeah.
But that turned out to be true, but not completely true. And now when I approach any new idea, I was like, okay, any idea, we are just looking at it from a scientist's point of view, okay? Nothing certain.
Yeah.
It might seem very, very certain to you that you're gonna be successful in that execution, okay? And you're gonna be users demanding the service. But please bear in mind that not every assumption might be true.
Yeah. I actually like that. I think it challenges the current narrative where everyone's just like, you just have to be certain about it. And I think that's really leaning into just sort of believing in yourself. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have to, one, believe in yourself, but also know that it's not necessarily 100%. Not everything has 100% certainty to it.
Nothing.
And what you're saying is leaving certainty behind is you're leaving room for the gaps where the magic really lies.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. And our final question is, what is one thing you're taking into the future with you?
One thing I would love to take
into the future with you.
Like a skill?
Anything. Okay. A mindset.
One thing I'd like to take. Okay, so whenever I get asked a lot by investors or non-investors, like, what is my superpower? And I've shared this with you in this because at the beginning I told you I have never given up ever. I don't know any challenge I have been. It's like, okay, I'm raising the white flag.
Yeah.
I think this is, if you ask me, like, what is, if there is one thing about me special that led me to be here today, despite everything that I shared with you, that I'd never give up. And I wish that this always gonna happen in the future, that this particular super power that I have is resilience and willpower. It's everything.
I don't think we could have ended this podcast any better. Other than never give up.
Never give up.
That is your resilience.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you so much, Joseph.
Thank you for having me here. It was a really pleasure.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. And maybe one day you'll convert your book to English and I shall read it.
Yes,
or listen to it on Spotify.
Yes, definitely. You could do that. I'm looking forward to do that.
Amazing. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.